CCL.
Good morning.
I'm so happy to be here. You totally transported me every time I hear you, John. I forgot that I was talking. I'm like on the beach, receiving my gifts. Which is kind of related to what we're going to talk about today. Shift here. I'm just taking a moment to be present because that's a big part of receiving a vision. Is really being present here in this moment with each other, with yourself. Yeah. Just being present opens me to spirit in the most powerful way. So I was originally going to speak several months ago. I had a different topic, and when Corky and I rescheduled to January, I'm like, well, what do I want to talk about? And you know, January is a lot about New Year, right, and resolutions and all of that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to talk about something that has been real powerful in my life called life visioning. How many of you ever heard of, well, I know a lot of you know about Reverend Bernard Beckwith, who's heard of him? Yes. Any of you done his life visioning process? Oh, goody, yes. You get to do a little mini taste of that today. By the way, how long do I have to talk?
You have 40 minutes.
Really? Yes! Okay. Woo! We're going to get into it. Okay. So, how many of you have done some New Year's resolutions? Anybody?
New Year's intentions?
Intentions. I like that. I'm actually glad to see that you haven't really gotten into the resolution thing because for me, resolutions don't work real well. Anyone else found that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Why? Why don't they work so well?
Because I beat myself up.
Because I beat myself up?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? So for me, what I found with my resolutions in the past is it's about shoulds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should eat more healthy. I should give up most of my sugar. I should lose weight. I should, well, I'm not talking about, you know, I don't need to lose weight, but you know what I'm saying. Like we all have, like you don't want to see me lose weight, do you? Because that would be scary, right? That would be scary. But you know, we all have these resolutions, right? But there are a lot of times based on these shoulds, or I shouldn't do something. And then how do we feel when we should ourselves? We feel shitty, right?
Yeah.
Like it feels crappy to should on yourself. That's what the saying is. I remember this one time, I had this idea that I was going to do what I don't want to do. It was a great idea. I was so excited. I'm going to write a blog about this. I'm going to do it for a month. I'm going to do what I don't want to do. So if I don't want to meditate, I'm going to sit down and meditate. And if I don't want to, you know, eat healthy food, I'm going to sit down and do that. So day 4 or 5 of this, I remember I was at the gym and I'm in the shower and I'm like, I am really irritable right now. And I am kind of depressed. Like, what is going on? Why? It was because it was all about shoulds, right? It was all kind of beating myself up, like you said, Janet. Just, it didn't feel good. So I realized it's not the practice. So then I shift to intentions, which are great. How many of you have made intentions for the year? All right, so that's more positive, right? That's more, I intend to be more loving and present. I intend to, you know, share more of myself. I intend to open a receipt, right? And that's all really great and helpful, but it has a limitation also. What are the limitations with intentions? Ann?
Well, road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? I mean, so it also becomes a have to. It becomes a should.
It can become a have to or should,
yeah.
right? We can turn it into that, especially if that's our compulsion, right?
Yeah.
It's to like, oh, okay, but I said I would intend to do this. Yes.
I found out that the road to good intentions is paved with hell.
Yes, it can
There
be.
you go. Thank you.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that way, but a lot of times we'll shift it into that. But there's another limitation to intentions that maybe you hadn't considered, is that our intentions for ourselves can only come from what we can think, can only come from our own limited idea of what's possible and available to us.
Oh.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Open the door to life visioning.
Yes.
Open the door to life visioning. Because life visioning is not all about what we think is possible or what we want necessarily, although it can be. It's about what Spirit sees for us.
Yes.
It's about receiving a vision that's beyond our mind, beyond what we think we should do, or what we think we want, to something even greater than that. Because Spirit is infinite, right? Spirit is unlimited. So it's not looking at you with that, this is what, I think I can do, or what I should do, or what I think is next for me, or what I think I want. Spirit's going, I see you as your complete and total divine infinite self, and this is how I want to flow through you. Doesn't that sound exciting?
Yes.
Yay, and maybe a little scary, maybe, for some, a little bit, maybe not. Maybe for all of us we're really excited, but sometimes it's a little scary to step into something bigger and beyond what I've thought of for myself. And that's good, because I like to say that fear is the indication of the onset of power.
Ooh.
Fear is the indication of the onset of power. So it's okay if your life vision is just a little bit like, well, I don't know about that. I had I'll share with you, when I first did life visioning about 7-8 years ago, I sat and I did the process, and I kind of had an expectation of what I was going to see or perceive, and I'm pretty visual, so I kind of figured I'd get a visual, which I did. But in that, okay, so my background is I've been a yoga teacher since 1993, been a psychotherapist about that long as well, and so I had thought that, I'd see bigger yoga classes and all that, and I did the visioning process, and there was no yoga classes at all.
Wow.
Whatsoever. And I'm like, okay, must have done something wrong there. I'm going to go back and do this vision, because I did this visioning process about 7-8 years ago, so I've been teaching yoga a long time, even at that point, right? Did another visioning process again. No yoga classes, no yoga poses, not one triangle, nothing. I did it a third time. I'm like, no, really, no yoga classes. And I stopped and thought, wow, what's going on here? And as I digested this, I started to realize Spirit's letting me know, not that there's anything wrong with me teaching yoga, but that's limiting me right now. It's limiting me, and I'm ready to step beyond just teaching poses. And that's when I decided my journey into interfaith ministry, which I had thought about becoming a minister before. And that it's not that I don't still teach yoga, I do from time to time, but I'm not teaching regular weekly classes. So that started a process of letting go of my yoga classes and stepping into my bigger vision. So, when we're stepping into exploring life visioning rather than resolutions or intentions, and it can complement those, we're letting go of being directive. Being directive. I'm going to create my reality. I'm going to manifest what I want, which is all an important skill to have, right? We all want to manifest more prosperity and abundance, don't we? We all want to create more health and well-being. Of course we want that. But we're stepping out in this process of being directive,
Yes.
and instead being receptive, receiving. It makes me think of my husband when I left the house today. He was wishing me well, and he said, Spirit's got a slam dunk on them. and that's, see, we're, okay, is anyone a Warriors fan here besides me?
Yeah.
I'm like, we were watching them last night, they won, yes, and we love basketball, and so he was giving me the basketball metaphor, and I'm like, I think I'm going to use that, because that's kind of like what life visioning is. Might be a slam dunk, or it might be a, when Steph Curry steps back for his three and swoosh, we're the net, we're the hoop. And Spirit's giving us something and just tossing it in there. We are to open and receive that. We're to catch that, like a dream catcher, right? You catch, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, the dream catchers catch the bad dreams and let the good dreams come through. Is that how they work? Right.
Yes.
So it's that opening in the middle of the dream catcher, and we're letting ourselves receive it. So we're becoming like antennas, being receptive to, yes, there's the dream catcher right there, in case anyone didn't know. On the shirt, yes.
Dave is modeling for us. Thank you, Dave. Vanna Dave.
Yay.
That was right on time.
So it's a process that Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith developed to assist you in coming into that receptive space so that you can catch, he likes to say you catch the vision, or you receive this greater vision for your life. So as we're preparing, we're going to do a little mini one here today. And as we're preparing for this, don't try to figure this out. You know, like I was anticipating what I thought it was going to be. Right? Try and let that go and be open and receptive. Try and let go of your expectations of what will happen in the visioning process. So sometimes you get a full-blown vision. You're like seeing everything, and I was seeing, you know, like people and all of that. And sometimes you don't. Especially your first one, you may not receive a whole lot other than just feeling the presence of the divine and divine love in you, which is already a vision in itself. It's already a gift to receive, right? So try to let go of what you think might happen or what you want to happen and just see. And don't discount anything. Anything that shows up in the visioning process, anything that you feel, don't discount it. I did a visioning process last week, and it was very different than my previous ones. My previous ones have been very visual, and this one was a feeling of deep presence, of just deep being in this present moment, and the mind being quiet. And I knew in that vision that as I practice and allow that deep presence in my life, that everything will come to me, and everything will flow through me as it needs to be. So that, to me, was a really important and powerful vision for myself, especially with the work I'm doing right now, because a lot of what I do right now is based on presence. So let it be whatever it is, and don't have any expectations. And I invite you to go home and practice it, because as you know, practice, right, brings you more and helps refine the vision and helps you get better at being that net, that receptor. So let's go ahead and get comfortable. Let your eyes close. And we have time, I think, to go through pretty much all the steps of light visioning, at least most of them. So as you're closing your eyes, with that intention of being receptive, let's take some deep breaths. Breathing into this sacred moment in which you have chosen to receive a life vision for you. This might be something new that you end up receiving. It might be something very familiar that you've known. Just let go and prepare yourself, breathing into this moment deeply. And as you exhale, let go of anything that you don't need. Let go of anything that might be in the way. And it's okay if in the next breath something else arises, and then as you exhale, you can let that go too. So thoughts may come and go, and if you choose, you can let them go as you exhale. Breathing deeply into your inner self. And with every exhalation, relaxing a little bit more. Relaxing into that receptive place within you. And now I'd like for you to imagine and feel and perceive the source of unconditional love flowing to you, around you, within you. That you're being permeated by this unconditional love. This love that fully and totally embraces you exactly as you are, as you have been, and as you always will be, your true self. This love that holds you unconditionally in body, mind, heart, and spirit. Imagine what that would be like to be in the presence of unconditional love, to be feeling it and experiencing it fully. So even if you don't feel it right now, imagine what it would be like to experience that. And in a moment, we're going to take a breath, and I'm going to snap my fingers, and when I do that, imagine that that power of unconditional love is multiplied times 10. Take a deep breath in. 10 times that unconditional love. Filling you, permeating you. Because the vision comes from unconditional love. And it's here with you right now. Right here in this moment. And again, we're going to take a breath together, and we're going to multiply that times 50. And don't try to figure that out, and don't try and make it happen. Just let it be whatever it is. Take a deep breath in, 50 times the power of that unconditional love. Into every cell of your being. Filled with this presence of unconditional love. Now I'd like for you to listen. So we come into a state of deeply listening within ourselves. Deeply listening to the divine, to spirit. And in that state of listening, we ask the sacred question. And it might sound something like this. How does the divine wish to express through me in my life now? Listen. When I say listen, you might hear, you might see, you might feel. Notice what you experience with the question, how does the divine wish to express through me in my life? You might ask the question this way. How does infinite love and intelligence wish to express through me as me in my life? Listen. Feel. Receive. Now, we're going to receive some more information to assist with your vision. Again, breathing in and coming to this deep state of receptivity and listening, we ask the question, who do I need to become? And that's a question of really asking how you can be your highest and greatest, authentic, true, divine self. Who do I need to become of that divine self that I am to fulfill this vision? Ask and listen. You might hear words. You might feel an experience. You might see something. And again, coming into that state of receptivity, asking the question, what do I need to let go of in order for this vision to manifest in my life? What do I need to let go of? Receive. What is it time for me to release? What am I ready to let go of so that I may receive this vision into my life as my life? And again, breathing in that state of receptivity. The next question, what qualities do I already possess that serve this vision? What do I already have to give, to be? Listen. And again, if something doesn't come to you, that's okay. Maybe that quietness is part of your answer. Or maybe the unknown is part of the answer right now. And that you can ask this again later, any of these questions. So now, just for yourself, check in with your willingness. And you can be honest with yourself about how willing are you to receive and step into this vision in your life right now, maybe from 1 to 10, to just get a sense of where you are in your readiness for this. There's no judgment around that. There's just noticing. This is Spirit's idea for you. And you can see how willing you are right now to step into that and explore how you might come to that full receptivity and willingness for yourself in your life in the coming days. So we take this moment right now to feel gratitude for this vision that Spirit is bringing to you, that maybe you have received already today, that maybe you have just initiated today. This is just beginning for you. Or maybe it's a continuation of a vision you've already been living. Let's be grateful in this moment for what you have received. for what Spirit wants to bring through you. We're thankful for that. Feel that gratitude. And so as we give thanks for this, we know that this vision is already manifest. It's beyond space and time. It already is the truth of our being, even if we haven't seen it out picture in our life yet. And that we release this vision now to its highest good in our life. We release what Spirit has given us to flow in however it is intended to flow in our life, to flow through us, however it will, and however we're able to receive it. We release it to do its work through us and as us in our life. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Ashe. So, Anne, would you pass out? So I'm passing out those steps that we just did, and I went through that really quickly today. So some of you may not have been able to keep up with that. That's fine, but so you just get a flavor, a taste of it. And these are the steps that we went through. And you could take some time right now if you want to write down anything that you want to capture before you forget it.
Thank you.
And the questions and the steps there are to help you remember perhaps some things that might come up through that process. So did anyone have any experience at all? You experienced anything through that? Anybody? Remember a few things? Okay. How many of you just felt the unconditional love or the openness, the receptivity? Did anyone feel that? Good. That's the first step of the visioning process, is that practice of receptivity and opening up to receiving unconditional love. Did you notice anything come up for you that was blocking you or making it hard? What did you guys notice?
Yes, I started playing Scrabble.
Scrabble in what way? Or just the game Scrabble? You just started singing? How interesting. So I wouldn't discount that. Maybe there's something there on that Scrabble board for you to see. Is that a game you like?
I hardly ever play it.
Okay, interesting. All right, so I would sit with that a bit. I wouldn't discount that at all. That could be a message.
See what it spells.
See what it spells. There might be a message on the board there. Who knows? It's something to explore. Anyone have anything you want to share from that? Janet?
Well, something that came up for me, because I was waiting like you were for the yoga, things and
Sure.
different things that I do, and what kept coming back was I just have to be wherever I am, and this message came, I could be a janitor, and it would be okay. It's not what I do, it's how I show up. And it was very powerful. It kind of released a lot of burdens of feeling like I have to make money to survive, I have to, that all went away. And it was just about being and staying in that being and paying attention when I get knocked off.
Absolutely. Yeah, so staying in that being,
Yeah.
whatever you do, that's your vision. And that's very similar to what I received last week as well. It's such an important practice for us, especially nowadays. We're so pulled out of the moment and out of being, aren't we? We're always pulled into doing, and we're always pulled into distraction. Yes, there's so many distractions out there in the world, especially right now. Yes, but in Silicon Valley, a lot of pressure to keep going and doing and creating and keeping up with everybody, and people are impatient, and they come into that place of being and let go of all that and trust and flow. What else? Anyone else? Yes.
I had this unbridled fear come
A big fear.
that I had to get up and get out of.
Okay, so that's something to explore and be with. And I mentioned earlier, sometimes it can be a little scary to receive a life vision, because wow, this is what God, Goddess, all that is, wants for me. This is how the universe wants to express through me. It might be beyond what I can think of right now. So that indicates to me something powerful is coming. Something powerful is coming your way. And how can we prepare ourselves, ready ourselves for embracing and becoming empowered and letting that power flow through us. And remember, so a part of what comes up for me when I get scared with a vision is that you're not doing this alone. This vision isn't about you using your personal power and energy and effort to figure it out and go do it. I just want to go, oh, when I say that, right? That sounds like a burden and overwhelming and scary. It's for us to step aside and let it be done through us, that we're going to be given everything that we need for that. Everything that we need to be able to meet that vision, whatever it is. The money, the energy, the time, the people, the resources. If this is how Spirit wants to flow through your life, you don't need to worry. Just be the receiver and let it flow through you. And trust that everything you need shows up. The other thing that I find sometimes brings up the fear for me is worthiness. Anyone relate to that one?
Oh, yeah.
If you receive a vision, you know what I'm talking about. That we're all worthy. That's what we came here to do, isn't it? I know you guys that come to CCL here. You came here to do this. You may not have known that when you walked in the door. You came here to live a bigger vision in your life than what you've previously let yourself do. Yes? We are all inherently worthy. We're all that divine essence expressing in unique and powerful ways. It's coming to you because you are worthy. There's not even a question of worthiness. Because you are a divine being in physical expression, it's coming to you. It's intended for you to be this open channel of divine energy in your own unique and special way. And don't worry, a vision doesn't have to be something huge and grand. Like Janet and I were expressing for us right now, it's being presence. I mean, isn't that a real gift when you're around someone who's so present with you? But it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go out and lead a 1 million person march on DC. That doesn't have to be your vision. Just because I say it's a life vision and God and Spirit and the divine and whatever you want to call that, He's bringing it to you, doesn't mean you're going to be thrown into like, oh my God, I can't do that. You're going to be given just the right vision for you and your gifts. And you already have everything that you need. It's actually something important to realize. You already have everything that you need within you. It's only our thoughts and beliefs and limitations that make us think we don't. It's only our mind that says, oh, well, I don't have enough education, I'm not smart enough, I'm not funny enough, I'm not powerful enough, I don't have enough money, that's all of your old records, old limitations, and the Spirit doesn't see you that way at all. You didn't come in that way. Your divine self came into that baby ready for anything, right from Spirit, ready to express. So part of what we let go is those thoughts of limitation. And so if you're afraid, that's okay. Embrace. Embrace and hold that fear in unconditional love. Hold it. And it's okay to feel afraid, because that means something powerful is happening to you. That means something beautiful is ready to come. And if you can hold yourself in that love and that compassion and in that appreciation, you'll be able to move through that fear. Anyone else have something you want to share? Yes. And then,
Saw in my house, like just kind of crumbling, where I live, crumbling in nothing. And then these big rock mountain thing just built up, and there was like a castle on top, and it had all different color, like glass all around it, and it was really beautiful.
Cool.
what do you make of that? Do you have an idea yet?
Yeah. I'm not
And you don't have to
thrilled.
tell us, but.
I think I have, but I'm gonna be leaving and going to something, so.
So there it showed up in the vision. Would you like another layer of possible meaning for that? So often, psychologically, a house represents our sense of self. So, and usually these visions, just like certain dreams that you have, real powerful dreams, are multi-layered. So I also see that as the old you that might have been based on some sort of lack and limitation, letting go, and now you're becoming, yeah, you like that?
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think there's a few layers of meaning that could be there. Dan, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I didn't get a grandiose type of a vision or anything of that sort. It was more an opening. I've been struggling a lot because I'm a very powerful empath. And all the, I could like to call it the dark side versus the light side, so to speak. A lot of the darkness has been overtaking me for a long time, for the last, several months, if not longer, where I easily fall into a negative thought pattern. So what this was all about was opening up to my true self and loving myself as who I truly am, and letting that, be what radiates out per se, not necessarily the vision of what I'm supposed to be doing or where I'm supposed to be, but more of holding the light. Not allowing the empathy that comes to me when I'm feeling, when people are touting about number 45, or when, people are screaming their hatred over things and the violence that's happening out there and the earthquakes and everything that's happening. I feel it all. And learning to stay within that self-love through it so that it's not so impactful to me personally as much as being able to give love out to it, into those energies.
So being your true self and allowing that love to radiate through you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and being that.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to remember, is that the life visioning is often about being something, being an energy, being a quality, not necessarily a big list of you're going to do this out in the world. I think that's absolutely potent and powerful. And it is for me as well. I think a lot of us can relate to being empaths or really impacted by everything that's been going on in the world. So being whatever that quality is that might have come through your vision. So remember that as you go forward with this. Practice the visioning. If you really were interested in this, I recommend you get Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith's. He has a book out on this, but he also has a CD set, which I think is amazing, and it walks you through the steps. So trust whatever you got today, explore it some more, play with it, journal, and know that your vision is coming to you and through you, and you'll receive whatever you need, and you're completely worthy.
Oh.
Thank you.